So, all right, do you ever procrastinate? That's the question I have for you. Or am I the only one? Well, my name is Susan Sly. I'm an author, speaker, podcast host. If you haven't checked out my show, it's the Susan Sly Project on iTunes. And in today's live, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to get things done when you just don't feel like it. And I want to have a special dialogue. I know we have a lot of guys watching. With the ladies. So one thing about us as women is we actually have 1,000 times the neurological synapses between the left and right hemispheres of our brains as men do. And again, no offense, guys, I was raised by a single dad. Trust me, I love men, I get it. But for us as women, we tend to think in cause and effect so often. So when we're thinking, oh, okay, I've got to make lunches for the kids when they're going, when they're in school, and we're like, okay, but I made that exact same lunch the day before, and it's not organic, and oh my gosh, it's white bread, and it really should be gluten-free bread, or, like we go through all of this stuff in terms of cause and effect, and what can happen for us, especially as women, is because we're thinking about cause and effect so much, we procrastinate to the point where we don't get things done. And if you can relate to that, just say yes right now. And I see Marcia is here, and Charlene is here, and so many of others of you are here. And hey, Bruce, it's great to have you here. So what happens with this procrastination is we tend to, if you're taking notes, we tend to outthink ourselves. And we think more about taking the action we're supposed to take than actually doing that action. And so here's some examples of how that can happen. We know, let's say we have a business and we know prospecting for new clients and customers is important, but we outthink it. Oh, okay, well, what is this person going to think about me if I reach out to call them or message them? Or, maybe I'm not having a good hair day, or, what if they don't want to hear what I have to say? And the reality is the most successful people on the planet do not think in terms of cause and effect so much when they're doing the actions they know are going to create the results. So whether it is going to the gym and getting your workout in, or scheduling the date night with your partner, or making the sales calls, or whatever it is that you know are important, I'm not here to tell you what's important. I think inherently you're all brilliant people. You know what's important in your life. I'm here to share with you some of the strategies I use to GSD to get stuff done, especially when I don't feel like it. And I want to begin today with a little bit of a story. So some of you may or may not know this, but back in 2015, I started the year and I wasn't feeling good. And, I just was off and I was tired. And by the end of the year, something wasn't right. Like I would have a lot of days when I, thought middle of the day, middle of the week, I have to go lie in bed. I need a nap. I started to get dizzy. I was running a low-grade fever, and I had several doctors misdiagnose me. So one told me that it was all in my head and handed me a personal development book, which was awesome. And I thought it was hilarious considering I train on personal development. And I've done speaking events with people like Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield and a whole bunch of other people. But hey, personal development's all in your head. And this other doctor sends me this message, and it's like, I think it's just PMS. Okay, yeah, just PMS. Well, it turns out what was wrong with me, I had gone to Africa to see my daughter Maggie, and I had contracted an amoeba, and it was shutting down my organs, one organ at a time. And had I not gotten properly diagnosed, I actually would have ended up dying. So not only was it a long process to really deal with this, but it was a long road to recovery as well. Now, during this time, I still had 5 children. That didn't change. During this time, I still had 3 companies to run. That didn't change. During this time, I still had my husband and wanting to get my workouts in and the charities that I contribute to. And I have, one of my businesses is a network marketing business. And I'm one of the few people that's actually really bold about it. Yes, I'm in network marketing. Oh my gosh. And I'm not ashamed. And so one of my businesses is network marketing. I have an organization of about 300,000 people. So you can imagine I've got, company A, company B, kids, 300,000 person organization, and I am sick and my organs are shutting down. Oh my gosh. So during this time, it was really a period of reflection. Back in 2015, I put out my 7th book, Organize Your Life. And it's amazing when we put out a body of work, or we stand, publicly and declare something, that oftentimes we're tested. How many of you can relate to that? You know, there's no testimony without a test, right? And so there I was. I had written Organize Your Life. I've been teaching organization online for years and years and years. At that point, I put about 1,000 people through my online program. And there I was having to put every single thing to use. So let me share with you how I did that. And while, you know, in that process, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about a lot of people and, you know, coming out the other side. So it's my goal on these Facebook Live Mondays to really contribute to you. And just before I give the tips, I do want to give a couple of quick announcements. So on September 29th here in Phoenix, I am doing my first one-day live event that I have done since I used to run Have It All Women. And on this one-day live event, I'm going to be training NLP techniques. It's called Sales Nirvana. And when we're selling to people, it's really not about our product or service, it's how we make people feel. So if you're a realtor, if you're in network marketing, if you're a chiropractor, whatever it is you do, it's going to be an amazing event for you. It's www.salesnirvana.com. Those tickets will sell out. And also beautiful Emmy award-winning actor Riel Andrews is coming in. He's going to be coaching you on your screen presence. So how do you do a better job with your Facebook Lives or the videos your company produces? It's going to be amazing, and potentially I might have another special guest. We're just working on those details. So that's September 29th, salesnirvana.com. My online class, NLP for business owners, that also starts in September. You can check that out on susansly.com. And I am doing we call them Ninja Minis at my company. On Monday, July 30th, I'm doing a class on copywriting. It's going to be 2 hours. And copy is the most important thing. So how you write your emails, how you do your social media posts, how you write blog articles, how you put out your lead pages, landing pages, website. And one of the things that's amazing, when you look at Russell Brunson over at ClickFunnels, I love what Russell puts out. He said, you know, his very first funnel he built, he spent $30,000 on his copywriter. And then Clayton Mask, who I know well, who started a company called Infusionsoft, said the biggest mistake, I was interviewing Clayton one day, I said, what's the biggest mistake you ever made? And he said, not investing more in copy. So I'm going to be teaching that course. You can go and check that out. It is called thesoulofselling.com. It's a direct URL. It's a 2-hour mini class. And, you know, I'd love to work with you and help you with your copy. It is going to be workshop style. So you're going to leave there. I'm going to make you write during the class. I used to teach college, so I'm all about that in the moment. Hey, Teresa, it's great to see you. And Josephine, good evening to you, love. So let me get started on how to get things done when you don't feel like it. So one of the first tips is really getting an understanding of what's important and what's not important. So go ahead and write that down if you're taking notes. How many times do we actually do things that are not important? Right? We go through a day, you know, and we're doing stuff, but maybe that stuff wasn't as important. So I had a client once, a coaching client, and she loved to cook. And I, you know, kudos to her. And I think she had 6 kids, and she would go to the grocery store every day. Now, someone tell me what the problem is with this next thing I'm going to say. So she's a stay-at-home mom. She also has an online business, and she's decided that every single day her little darlings need home-cooked gourmet meals. And she goes to the grocery store every day. So I want you to imagine her day. She gets the kids all ready, makes them all breakfast, then takes them to school, has some of them at home, says she wants to build her business, but then she's online planning her recipes. Then she goes to the store about 1 o'clock, buys all the groceries, gets the kids, after school classes, cooking. Do you think she made money in her online business? Yes or no? Who can tell me? So what she did is she really didn't decide what was important. So we have to look at our language. Is what we say we want in alignment with what we're actually doing? And a lot of the times when I'm observing people, the answer is no. So be very clear, number one, what is important? So if you're in sales, then prospecting and following up is important. If you have a business, I don't feel, I'm going to be like, can I be raw and real with you guys right now? Can I be 100% raw and real? So today, this morning, I'm like, okay, I didn't have a great night's sleep, but I go to hot yoga, like I'm up at 4:30, go to hot yoga at 5:30, then, coming back, getting my kids ready for camp. And I'm like, okay, I've got to blow out my hair. Oh, I have a few grays. You can probably see them. I have no idea. I'm almost 46. So I'm like, I have to do my hair. What a pain in the butt it is to do my hair, but I have to do my hair because it's Monday. It's my Facebook Live. I didn't even really want to do it, and it's all of these things that kind of go through my head. And I'm sure if they go through my head, they also go through your head. So I always anchor back. In NLP, we call it anchoring. What is that anchor? The anchor for me is to add value to you. So Mondays, I show up and I do my Facebook Live, whether I feel like it or not, or whether my hair looks good or not, or whether I have a pimple on my chin or not, because it's important. It doesn't matter to me if you ever buy a product or service I have or ever join my digital marketing agency, but I know many of you have messaged me privately and said those Monday Lives really, really help me. So it's important for me to get out of my own way and add value to you. In business, when you start putting your customers first and figuring out how to add value to them and put your needs behind that, that's when amazing things happen. So number one, what's important? Number two is, what is the benefit? So what is the benefit? Oftentimes when we're not doing what we need to do, when we don't feel like doing it, we're focused on the action and not on the benefit. So the benefit in business, what's the benefit to you if you reach out to a prospect? What is the benefit to you if you do the Facebook Live that you've been procrastinating on? What is the benefit to you if you do your email marketing or put out your video on YouTube or build your digital marketing campaign? What is that benefit? And you want to live into the benefits. So I used to be obese. I was 200 plus pounds. I was a women's size 18X. I had to think about it. It was like double digits a long time ago. And, I knew I needed to work out. I knew I needed to be healthy. And, there I am. Imagine, 200 pounds, slogging it out, running 10K. And it wasn't pretty. And, the stomach's going up and down. And, I'm not feeling good about myself whatsoever. And I had to keep thinking, the only way to get to where I want to be is to focus on the outcome. Where do I want to be? I want to be a size 6. I want to be healthy. I want to be a great role model. I want to feel really good. And that's how I did it. Was it easy doing those workouts 6 days a week? No. Was it easy, resisting carbs all the time? No. But I focused on the outcome. Does that make sense, everyone? The third tip in terms of just doing it, I love what Mel Robbins says. It's the 5-second rule. I've done a speaking event that Mel was also speaking at, and she's like, just count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make the call. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press go on the Facebook Live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever it is you need to do, just count yourself down and do it. And it's an amazing, amazing rule. The next one, number 4, is about that vulnerability. Because oftentimes when we're not doing what it is we're supposed to do, our ego is in the way and we're trying to be perfectionists. And being a perfectionist is another excuse to procrastinate. Okay, thank you, Yamaris. So when we are we're a perfectionist and we're like, oh, my hair has to look a certain way and my skin has to look a certain way, or I have to, whatever. The reality is, in today's marketing world, people don't want fake, they want real. 5-6 years ago, people wanted people, all filtered and perfect and everything. And the top Instagram influencers, the top YouTube influencers are people who are putting themselves out there in their authentic, vulnerable self. So on my Facebook Lives, I will show you a gray hair. I will show you a pimple. I am not the Duchess of Sussex where one gray hair is going to be, trending on Twitter. It doesn't matter. I would rather put myself out there and be real and authentic. And if people don't like that, they're not going to be my followers, and that's totally, totally fine. I mess up at times. I don't, there are certain things that, I know that, it's a work in progress always. But if you can just be your truth, thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Denise. If you can just speak your truth and be vulnerable, that's the key. And I love Brene Brown talks about this, is that, being vulnerable is a lot more courageous, right? And so if you can just even do what it is that you want to do, and I'm going to give you a strategy tip. So I've, in my network marketing business, we just had, I believe it's the 37th or 38th person become a millionaire. And one piece of advice I've always given to people, whether they were in my company or in another company, is that I would rather receive a phone call from someone who says, I'm nervous to call you, and just at the forefront. So if you are nervous to talk to someone, just tell them, be straight up, be straightforward. It's going to be amazing for you. And let me ask you this, where in your business life can you become a little more vulnerable if you don't have the answer? Say to someone, I don't have the answer, I'm going to figure it out. I was the #1 producing sales manager for the largest health club company chain in the world, largest multinational back in the late 90s. And I broke every sales record, and the president of the company came to meet with me. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm teaching people how to sell. And one of my priorities for my staff was this: if a customer asks you a question and you don't know the answer, say to them, look, I don't know the answer, but I'm going to find it out and I'm going to be back to you within 12 or 24 hours, or I'm giving you a session for free. Like, take that level of responsibility. People don't want you to fake it until you make it. What they want is for you to speak your truth. They want you to be vulnerable. They want you to be honest. Okay? And the fifth and last thing I'm going to say to you is this, and it is like the most common sense thing, but just because it's common sense doesn't make it common practice, and that is this: keep lists. The way you get stuff done is keep lists of small goals and check them off throughout the day. I would love to, tell you that when I'm mentoring someone or giving someone advice, and it's like, yes, who doesn't want to bring in 10 new clients in one day? Of course you do. But, maybe you start to make your lists a little bit smaller and have those small confidence building steps. So if you've never done a Facebook Live, write down, I am doing my first Facebook Live. And when you do it, you get on there and you're like, guys, this is my first live. I am nervous. I'm sweaty. I'm glad this camera has no smell-o-vision, because if you smelled me, I'm sweating so bad and I'm so nervous, but I just needed to get this done, right? And you check it off your list. And don't be so concerned with how many people view it and how many likes and shares it gets. Who cares? It's your first one. That's the first thing. Or making a list and saying, you know what? I know I need to go to the gym. I know I need to work out, and I'd love to have 90 minutes to do that, but I'm a single mom. Okay, write down on your list, I work out for 5 minutes today, and then you do 5 minutes today and 5 minutes tomorrow and 5 minutes, and then the 5 becomes 10 minutes, becomes 20 minutes, right? That's how you do it. And so one of my secrets for getting things done, especially when I've got a lot of life happening, I just returned from 5 weeks of travel where I was only home for 72-hour periods, is I take all of my big goals and I write down small goals, and I say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on these small ones, and that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully today has been valuable. I do read every single one of your comments. If you have a topic you would like me to train on, you can go to my website, susansly.com. We have a chat bot there. You can see the chat bot. I actually installed it myself, so I felt pretty freaking amazing that I did that. I am somewhat techie, but that chat bot is there, and we do see those messages. So if you have just any form of a question or anything, please do chat it there, susansly.com. My podcast show, I just recorded a new show with Joe Soto today. Joe is a social media marketing genius. He trains for Tai Lopez and some incredible people, and he used to be a top income earner in a network marketing company. So in that show, which is going to come out in the next 48 hours, Joe talks about how even people in network marketing can market themselves digitally. He's got some great tips for people with brick and mortar businesses, so do check that out. It is going to be awesome. So with that, hopefully today is going to be valuable. I honor and cherish all of you. Just go out there, celebrate yourself, do you. I mean, you trying to be anyone else is never going to be helpful, especially now when people can see that a mile away. So with that, God bless. Go out there and rock your day. If this has been great, please do comment and share it, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.